Top 10 Luxury SUVs in the World. 2026 Number 10. 2026 Lexus LX 800. There are machines that exist in traffic, and there are machines that change the pressure in the air when they arrive. The 2026 Lexus LX 800 is the second kind. A matte black rupture in the timeline, a rolling blackout that makes everything parked beside it look suddenly outdated. It doesn't sparkle, it devours light. Wide stance, long hood roofline drawn like a taut bowstring. This isn't an SUV, it's a quiet predator in ceremonial armor. The spindle grille has become a mask of intent, framed by blade-thin lead that don't just see the road, they judge it. But here's the turn. Pull the handle and the intimidation dissolves into sanctuary. The door closes with a soft, deliberate thud, and the world outside drops a few decibels. Inside, it's atmosphere more than interior. Leather that feels poured, carbon and metal catching a gentle halo from hidden ambient strips. Twin floating OLED screens glowing like calm constellations in front of you. Nothing begs for your attention. Everything feels like it's been waiting for you. Then it moves. A twin-turbo V8 hybrid, 720 horsepower, wakes with a low, confident hum. Lean in and the LX 800 doesn't bolt. It flows 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds, delivered as one seamless wave of force. Adaptive suspension reads the road ahead, turning rough streets into rumor and high-speed curves into slow motion arcs. And that's when you realize this isn't about flash, it's about authority. Arriving late 2025, with prices starting around $150,000. Number 9. Dodge Challenger SUV. The 2026 Dodge Challenger SUV is that takeover. An American muscle legend raised on stilts of steel and defiance. A black glass monolith that makes everything else in the lot look like background props. Cloaked in obsidian, it doesn't just reflect the world, it distorts it. Twin round lead eyes glare from a slim, hostile grille. Hellcat-style hood scoop squared with modern precision. Flared fenders wrapped tight around 22-inch black alloys that don't roll so much as stock. One red lead blade across the rear signs its presence like a royal decree. But here's the turn. Inside, the brawler becomes a monarch. Bourbon brown leather, blood red ambient glow, carbon fiber and metal like weapons laid out on velvet. The thick D-cut wheel, the 14-inch screen angled toward you, gauges pulsing like a heartbeat. You don't sit in it, you strap into it. Then it moves. Under the hood, a 6.2-liter supercharged Hemi VT hybrid, 850 combined horsepower. EV mode prowls in silence. Hit scream or war mode and it erupts. Part thunder, part turbine, all judgment. 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds. Adaptive suspension dropping, tightening, turning this tall beast into a curve-eating carnivore. And that's when you realize this isn't muscle reborn. It's muscle enthroned. The 2026 Dodge Challenger SUV arrives late 2025, with prices starting around $125,000. Number 8. Mercedes GLE 600. Some SUVs just join traffic. The 2026 Mercedes GLE 600 doesn't join anything. It changes the atmosphere, like a monarch stepping into a crowded hall. Cloaked in deep sapphire blue that looks almost black in shadow, it wears chrome not as jewelry but as ceremonial armor. The grille rises like the entrance to a modern cathedral, the three-pointed star suspended in the center like a quiet oath. Slim LED lamps slice outward, and the body lines don't shout for attention. They guide your eyes calmly to the sheer presence of it. But here's the turn. Pull the door and the outside world drops away. The cabin is not an interior, it's an atmosphere. It's an atmosphere. Napa leather in ivory and midnight, open pore wood glowing under soft ambient light, turbine vents rimmed in brushed metal. A sweeping glass display arcs across the dash, floating like a command bridge, every graphic crisp, restrained, almost watch-like. The door closes with that signature Mercedes hush, vault, not vehicle. Then it moves. Under the hood, a 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8 with 48-volt hybrid assist delivers 620 horsepower through 4MATIC Plus all-wheel drive. 0 to 60 in about 3.8 seconds, but it never feels frantic. Power doesn't explode. It arrives smooth and sovereign. Air suspension and active body control read the road ahead, leveling, leaning, correcting before you ever feel the need. And that's when you realize this isn't a fast SUV, it's a moving penthouse. The 2026 Mercedes GLE 600 lands in early 2026, with prices starting around $120,000. Number 7. Toyota Century Fortuner. The 2026 Toyota Century Fortuner is the second kind, a royal bloodline lifted onto off-road shoulders. The chariot of emperors fused with the soul of a mountain climber, cloaked in obsidian black that gleams like volcanic glass. It stands tall and unbending, a moving monument. The towering gold-veined grille glows between crystal-cut lead that don't just light the way, they salute your presence. From the side, wide shoulders, silk-smooth lines, and 22-inch black and bronze wheels make it look less parked than poised. But here's the turn. Open the door and you don't step into a cabin. You enter a council chamber. Tan Napa leather, polished walnut, titanium brushed switches, a curved OLED display floating like a horizon of information. Whisper a command and the lighting softens, the air suspension bows, the whole SUV seems to lower itself in quiet respect. In the rear, executive lounge chairs recline into near flight, each with its own climate, fragrance, and Mark Levinson sound cocoon. It doesn't feel like travel, it feels like being escorted. Then it moves. A twin-turbo 4.0-liter V8 hybrid unleashes 680 horsepower through an intelligent 4WD system, gliding in electric silence one moment, storming to 60 mph in 4.2 seconds the next. Air suspension breathes with the terrain. Torque vectoring predicts grip before you ever lose it. And that's when you realize this isn't an SUV. It's a crown with ground clearance. The 2026 Toyota Century Fortuner arrives mid-2026, with prices starting around $170,000. Number 6. 2026 BMW X9. You can call it BMW G-Class. Some cars just pass through a street. The 2026 BMW X9 rearranges it. It doesn't arrive, it appears. Shadow gray metal stretched over muscle, every surface catching light like liquid steel veined with molten gold. The Bouberta Chanon, Soviet Nunes, UA Korea. The grille is no longer a polite signature. It's a golden gate, tall and latticed, glaring forward between razor-cut laser headlights. From the side, it reads like a supercar raised to a throne. Long hood, low glass, haunches coiled above vast gold-rimmed wheels that don't seem to touch asphalt so much as press it into obedience. Presence becomes pressure, but here's the turn. Open the door, and the Predator becomes a cathedral. Inside is a deep electric blue world. Quilted leather that feels ceremonial, carbon and brushed metal tracing quiet arcs beneath a single sweep of curved glass. The twin displays float like a horizon of light, controls responding with silk-smooth precision. It doesn't feel like stepping into an SUV. It feels like stepping onto a command bridge. Then it moves. A twin-turbo V8 hybrid, 735 horsepower, wakes with a muted growl under the floor. Lean in and the X9 surges, 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds, mass dissolving into motion. Four-wheel torque vectoring and adaptive suspension carve the road into clean, fluent shapes. Speed stops feeling like risk and starts feeling like language. And that's when you realize, this isn't BMW chasing a segment. It's BMW drawing a line in the future, arriving late 2025 as a 2026 model, with prices starting around $185,000. Number 5. Toyota Land Cruiser Century SUVs. There are names in the car world that don't just carry history, they cast shadows. Land Cruiser, Century, each one a monument on its own. The 2026 Toyota Land Cruiser Century SUV doesn't add to that legacy, it fuses them into something almost mythic. You don't see it at first. You will feel it. A deep, inky blue monolith that drinks in light, standing tall and calm like a temple built on wheels. The upper body is all ceremony, taut, regal lines, a long hood flowing into an upright, dignified cabin. Below, mass and muscle. The stance of something that can cross continents without raising its voice. The grille doesn't snarl, it presides. Wide, chrome-edged, patterned like a shrine gate, flanked by razor-thin LED that illuminate like judgment, not decoration. Those dark chrome wheels aren't for posing, they're for ruling. But here's the turn. Open the door and the wilderness falls away. Inside is pure Japanese restraint, black leather, polished wood, quiet metal, no glitter, no noise. Seats that don't hug, they honor you. The world outside blurs into a distant, respectful hush. Then it moves. A twin-turbo V8 hybrid, around 650 horsepower, doesn't rush. It ascends. Power comes in smooth, sovereign wave. Air suspension erases insult from the road. Crawl systems and locking differentials turn rock, sand, and river into mere scenery. It glides where others grind. And that's when you realize this isn't an SUV, it's an heirloom with ground clearance. The 2026 Toyota Land Cruiser Century SUV arrives in 2026, with prices starting around $190,000. Number 4. Lamborghini Hurrican SUV. There are cars that demand your attention, and then there are machines that steal your breath before you even realize you're staring. The 2026 Lamborghini Hurrican SUV is the second kind. A matte black apparition that doesn't park, it looms. You see, it looks less like an automobile and more like a shadow given engines, panels that swallow light, edges cut like blades, a stance that says Predator first, SUV second. The front leans forward as if scenting the next challenge, headlights narrowed into slits of white fire. It doesn't look road legal. It looks barely legal at all. But here's the turn. Pull the door and step inside, and the violence becomes architecture. Hexagonal geometry everywhere. Alcantara over carbon. Lines of crimson light pulsing faintly under the surface like veins. The fighter jet flip cover over the start button still waits for your finger, daring you. The digital cluster morphs with your mood. Minimal in the city, rabid on the attack. You don't sit here, you strap in. Then it moves. A twin-turbo hybrid V8 unleashes around 820 horsepower through all four wheels. EVE mode creeps in eerie silence. Switch to full attack and the exhaust erupts in a metallic snarl that sounds less like revs and more like a threat. 0 to 60 in about 2.9 seconds. Rear wheel steering and torque vectoring carving corners like their prey. And that's when you realize this isn't an SUV following a trend. It's combat art on stilts. The 2026 Lamborghini Hurrican SUV lands in 2026, with prices starting around $340,000. Proof that some storms don't roll in from the sky. They arrive from your driveway. Number 3. Mercedes Maybach G-Class. There are SUVs that make an entrance, and there are SUVs that arrive like a verdict. The 2026 Mercedes Maybach G-Class SUV is the latter. A black, chrome-edged monolith that doesn't drive into the scene. It claims it. The body is still a fortress of angles, but now every line is tailored. Every surface in obsidian so deep it seems to drink the light around it. The vertical grille stands like the gate of a palace. Maybach badge gleaming at the center, twin digital LED eyes cutting through the night with surgical calm. It's not design, it's posture. But here's the turn. Open the heavy door and the warhorse becomes a throne room. The seal is vault-like, the silence immediate. Diamond-stitched Napa leather in chestnut and ivory, polished walnut flowing in uninterrupted ribbons, metal controls machined like jewelry. In the rear, 2 fully reclining captain's chairs face a console with a champagne cooler, crystal flutes, and fold-out tables that glide into place as if on cue. Ambient light washes the cabin in molten gold or deep sapphire, while Burmester 4D audio turns music into a living pressure in the air. Then it moves. A 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8 hybrid, AMG tuned to around 710 horsepower, doesn't launch. It rises 0 to 60 in just over 4 seconds, the E-active body control scanning the road ahead, tilting, leveling, preempting every imperfection. 3 locking differentials and low range still lurk beneath the silk, ready to turn rock and sand into formality. And that's when you realize, this isn't luxury, it's sovereignty on stilts. The 2026 Mercedes Maybach G-Class SUV arrives in 2026, with prices starting around $280,000. Number 2. 2026 Mercedes Maybach 680 SUV. There are cars that symbolize achievement, and then there are machines that redefine what it means to arrive. The 2026 Mercedes Maybach 680 SUV doesn't pull up to the curb. It changes the atmosphere. Obsidian black, Polished to a liquid depth, it turns everything around it into mere background. The stance is long, towering, unapologetic. Riding on 23-inch Imperial Line alloys that glitter like crown jewels beneath a cathedral grille of vertical chrome veins, Maybach crest floating above the three-pointed star. This isn't status, it's summit. But here's the turn. Open the door and the world drops to a whisper. Inside is not an interior, it's architecture. Arctic white and anthracite nappa stitched like couture, chrome tracing every curve, ambient light breathing champagne pink or imperial gold from hidden seams. The rear thrones recline, extend ottomans, and surround you with Burmester 4D sound from 36 speakers, music not playing around you but through you. A crystal-framed tablet in the armrest controls everything from roof tint to fragrance. It feels less like a screen, more like a private butler. Then it moves. A 6.0-liter twin-turbo V12 exhales a low, cultured hum. 621 horsepower translated into what feels like levitation. 4 Matic Plus and E active body controls scan the road ahead, leaning, lifting, smoothing reality itself. 0 to 60 in about 4.5 seconds, yet you never feel speed, only inevitability. And that's when you realize this isn't an SUV, it's influence on wheels. The 2026 Mercedes Maybach S 680 SUV, arriving 2026 with prices starting around $300,000. Number 1. Mercedes Maybach GLS 800. Another Mercedes. There are luxury SUVs, and then there are machines that make the world feel underdressed. The 2026 Mercedes Maybach GLS 800 SUVs doesn't just arrive, it consecrates the street. Cloaked in deep midnight blue metallic, it looks like a slice of ocean stolen from beneath a starlit sky and poured over steel. The paint doesn't just shine, it glows with layered depth, every curve catching light like brushstrokes on a moving cathedral. The towering Maybach grille rises ahead, vertical chrome spires forming a crown, flanked by digital headlights that paint the night rather than merely pierce it. Colossal, jewel-cut wheels turn slowly like galaxies rotating under royal command. This isn't design, it's ceremony. But here's the turn. Open the door, and you don't step into a cabin, you enter a private wing. Leather so soft it feels aerated, stitching so precise it borders on calligraphy. Reclining rear thrones with ottomans extend as ambient light washes the space in sapphire, champagne, or molten gold. The panoramic roof hovers above like a glass ceiling in a modern palace, while a Burmester system turns every note into architecture for your ears. You don't sit, you're seated, then it moves. A hand-built twin-turbo V8 hybrid, tuned to a ruthless 800 horsepower, doesn't surge, it summons the horizon. Air suspension flattens chaos into silk. Rear axle steering shrinks this cathedral into something that dances, and that's when you realize this isn't an SUV at the top of the food chain. It's the food chain, upholstered. The 2026 Mercedes Maybach GLS 800 arrives in early 2026, with prices starting around $350,000.